Hey guys, Victoria here and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be reading one of my recent English essays that I wrote for my English class. I know that a lot of you guys have been wanting to see my old essays, like the essays I wrote back when I was preparing for my SPM, but the truth is I recycled my essay and I've been planning to write a new essay for you guys. But then it so happens that my English lecturer just assigned us an essay last week, so I wrote this essay and I decided to share it with you guys. I'll be reading the essay and I'll be talking about it, explaining as I go along. So the title of this essay that I wrote is Write About Making the World a Better Place in 350 words. And I wrote 6 paragraphs for this essay and I managed to include 3 quotes and 3 idioms. 2 of the quotes I have already mentioned in my quotes video if you watched that. So when I first got this essay, I just wrote down a brief plan that I had for the essay, but it wasn't so much of a plan. I just wrote down the points which I have. The 4 points which I had were environmental pollution, immoralities, poverty, and adopt don't shop. For that, I'll show you the amount of my essay, like how much it looks like. So this is the first page, and then the next page, and the last page. So it's like 3 pages. Now I'll be reading the intro of my essay and I'll be explaining it later. The world we live in and its welfare is important such that it is the place which nurtures this generation and the next. However, our world is facing a threatening amount of corruption lately in various aspects, be it environmental pollution and immoralities, leading to serious issues such as human trafficking. This directly impacts the welfare of the living things on Earth, including but not limited to humans, animals, and other organisms. There is a concept that this world does not belong to us. We are simply borrowing it from the next generation. If we abide by this way of thinking, it is definitely vital for each and every one of us to stand together as one to make this world a better place. So that was the intro of my essay. I talked a little bit about the world and the corruption that it's facing lately, just an intro, and I also talked about the concept where the world does not belong to us, it belongs to the next generation. So basically, I'm talking about why we have to make this world a better place. Include examples whenever you can. When you say that the world is facing corruption, what kind of corruption are you facing? Environmental pollution, human trafficking. Just include all the examples that you can think of. To kickstart the discussion, the first way to make this world a better place is to stop environmental pollution, or at least try to better the situation. Global warming is a term which everyone is well aware of. It is the term lingering on the tongues of scientists and appearing on the science textbooks which we read in school. Global warming is caused mainly by the depletion of the ozone layer due to the excessive use of refrigerators, air conditioners, and aerosols. Global warming is just one of the more dominant issues which we are facing. Our world is also threatened by air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, light pollution, and noise pollution. Scientists and even the public are well aware of the crux of the matter, yet few people are pitching in to do something about it. It is about time that we buck up and play our part in order to diminish the problems circling the environment. Small actions could go a long way. Some of these include minimizing the use of air conditioning whenever possible, turn off the tap when it's not being used, using refrigerators which release hydrochlorofluorocarbon (HCFC) rather than chlorofluorocarbon (CFC), and so many more. These luxuries which we take for granted is causing so much harm to our environment. It is our responsibility to do everything in our power to make this world a better place by diminishing the environmental pollution. That was the first paragraph of my essay. As you can see, I tried to include as many examples as possible. All the types of pollution which I know, I just threw it in because examples will give you marks. And as you can probably see, I included a lot of biology terms and a lot of my knowledge on biology. I think it helps a lot that we learn biology and science in school, and I always try to include the terms which I know and the knowledge which I know into the essay. By doing that, you are showing the examiner that you have a lot of knowledge on whichever subject you're writing on, and it shows the maturity of your writing style, so that will get you more points. and the idiom which I included in this paragraph is the crux of the matter, which simply means the main part of the problem. I think that the crux of the matter is an idiom which you should take down because it can be used in a lot of essays. Whenever there's like something regarding a problem, you can use it. Besides, another serious problem is one involving the corruption of the human race itself. These problems could be considered absurd because us humans, as common inhabitants of planet Earth, should come together to fight the problems. Yet, what has happened is that somehow we are the problem. Human immorality has come to such a state that sometimes we are afraid to leave open the newspaper for fear that we will read yet another heartbreaking story on these printed pages. How has the world come to such a state? Humans are being trafficked every day, people we don't know in places we haven't heard of. Yet we still have a lump in our throat when we read this news. It is a proof that human corruption is a valid problem, and it is one which is getting more and more serious with the passage of time. Basic human rights are abused on a daily basis. Humans of different color do not get equal rights, and why it is that way is difficult to comprehend since we are all the creations of God and He created us equally. To put a stop to these problems, all the parties involved should play their part. The government should be more concerned about the problems related to human rights. We as citizens should not hesitate to lodge a police report should we witness a crime. However, the best way to overcome problems related to human immoralities is through early education. Parents of the newborn play an important role in this. If they are taught right from wrong at a young age, it will be difficult to change their stand as they grow older and face new problems. The idiom that I included in this paragraph is a lump in our throat, which simply is used to express sadness. So as you can see, when I'm writing about making the world a better place, I don't go straight to the solution. I give an introduction to the problem first and how serious it is, and then I write the solutions. What you can do to make your essay more interesting is you can ask questions, ask rhetorical questions. No one needs to answer that question, you're just putting it out there. Use both long and short sentences and alternate between them. Now I'll be reading the fourth paragraph that I wrote, and this one has a quote in it. Moreover, we should also give our attention to the problem of poverty. People are losing their lives every single day due to empty stomachs. We are very fortunate to enjoy the luxury which we are blessed with. The problem of poverty and hunger is not being acknowledged enough. Help has been given to them, but I dare say that what is being done is still not enough. Many people still hadn't the chance to know what it feels like to be so full, to eat so much that you simply can't ingest any more food. Non-government organizations, NGO, and the government are chipping in to improve this problem. Some millionaires have also played their part by commencing funds which profit the poor. Some businesses channel part of their profit to better the lives of the poor. For example, Tom's, a shoe brand, has claimed to donate a pair of shoes to the poor and the needy whenever a purchase is made from them. We can contribute at least a little bit by supporting these funds. There is a quote by Anne Frank that says, "No one has ever become poor by giving." Another thing which we should do is to never waste food. Only take the amount which you need and finish everything on the plate. This is a way to express our gratitude for the food that we have. In this paragraph, I included a quote by Anne Frank, "No one has ever become poor by giving," which I mentioned in my other idioms and quotes video. So I'll be reading the fifth paragraph now. Furthermore, another problem which deserves our attention is that some humans and animals do not have a home. How will they have love if they do not have home in the first place? John Wooden has said, "The most important thing in the world is family and love." Yet so many living things are void of that. To overcome the problem of stray animals, we can play our part by adopting instead of buying pets. These pets can be adopted from the pet shelters. Besides adopting the pets, we can also volunteer to help at the shelters when we have free time in the weekends. This is a rather beneficial way to spend our time because in a way, we are contributing to the society. We have all heard of the cases where newborns are being dumped in rubbish bins. Education both at home and in school is a preventive measure for this. This act of dumping unwanted babies is unthinkable and wrong in the eyes of religion and basic moralities. Besides education, families could also consider adopting babies because this gesture could change their lives. That was the 5th paragraph of my essay where I basically talk about the concept of adopt, don't shop. I've also included a quote by John Wooden: "The most important thing in the world is family and love." So when you write essay, just throw in whatever knowledge that you have and the things that you heard about or seen on the newspapers. Just throw everything in to show the maturity of your writing style. Give examples whenever possible. Finally, I'll be reading the conclusion of my essay. As a conclusion, it is undeniable that the world we live in is corrupted. We should never turn a blind eye towards these problems. We are inevitably a part of this world and a part of these problems as well. Let us all play our role in making the world a better place. There is a quote by Helen Keller that goes, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." Never underestimate the power of unity, because one little gesture might not seem like much, but when everyone chips in, together we can make this world a better place, one gesture at a time. In this paragraph, I included an idiom: "Never turn a blind eye towards these problems," which means that we should not ignore these problems. And I also included a quote by Helen Keller: "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." So basically what I talked about in this last paragraph is I urge everyone to play their part, and you can add in idioms, quotes, whatever to strengthen the power of your words. The last paragraph is always about encouraging people to do whatever you've been writing about. Like in this essay, I was writing about making the world a better place, so I was encouraging others to try to play their part in making the world a better place. So that's all for my essay. It was 6 paragraphs and I included 3 idioms and 3 quotes. I hope that you learned something from this video. I learned a thing or two from writing essays for so many years, so I hope that the tips that I shared was helpful. So that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.